Hey there, Pokemon Breeders. Pokemon Breeder Kai here, coming at you today with a brand new video series. That's right, today we're kicking off my Pokemon Top 10 video series, and as such, I thought it would be kind of fun to kind of commemorate the upcoming Pokemon titles, Pokemon Let's Go Eevee and Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu, with a top 10 video centered around the Kanto region. And that's why today's topic is my top 10 favorite competitive Kanto Pokemon. And remember guys, this is just my opinion, and you are allowed to love or hate any of these Pokemon at your own discretion. Also keep in mind that when I say competitive play, I'm really more of a casual competitive player. I don't play on any ranked battles, I just like to play competitively with my friends. But without further ado, let's jump right into it. Number 10 on today's list is Chauncey. Now this pink egg-shaped wall will stop you dead in your tracks if you're unprepared. Its insane HP stat coupled with an awesome special defense stat makes Chauncey an amazing special wall. And if you pair those stats with a huge utility move pool, clerical support with Heal Bell, a way to recover with Soft Boiled, and a way to deal decent damage with Seismic Toss, you have yourself a very viable Pokemon that could easily slow down or even KO some of your opponent's Pokemon. And remember, Pokemon don't have any abilities and you're not allowed to have any held items. Because of that reason, Chauncey I feel like is going to shine even more so than it normally does. But that's okay, because I feel like a lot of Kanto Pokemon don't get as much love as they should. Yep, that's right guys, I'm a Gen 1er. Deal with it. Chauncey has kind of an okay typing, being just the normal type, and I thought they kind of missed out on not making Chauncey or Blissey fairy type, but at the same time, could you imagine how unstoppable a fairy type Blissey would be in the metagame? Scary just to think about it. I think that about sums it up for Chauncey. Entry number 9 on today's list is Alakazam, more specifically Mega Alakazam. Now this mon, I'm sure, needs no introduction. He's the OG of special sweepers back in the day. The only way you could stop one of these bad boys was if you had a Parasect on your team. Mega Alakazam's awesome special attack stat coupled with his insane speed make him a reliable special wall breaker / sweeper. And if you pair that with the ability to recover some health on switch-ins, then you got a really scary mon for the metagame. The only real problem that I can see for this Pokemon in the upcoming games are any steel types or Pokemon with priority moves. Alakazam is so frail that it can't live most priority moves as long as they're stabbed. I think that about sums it up for Alakazam. Number 8 on today's list is a monstrous physical sweeper in the form of Mega Geragos. Now Mega Geragos, ever since its introduction in Generation 6, has been a big fan favorite. I mean, look at him. This rampaging, monstrous water dragon? It's awesome. And honestly, the way to use him is pretty straightforward itself. I mean, he's just a bulky sweeper that spams Dragon Dance until he's fast enough to one-hit anything in his way. And if you pair that with an awesome move pool and 2 reliable stab moves in the form of Waterfall and Crunch, then you got yourself a Pokemon that you really need to look out for. The only real drawback to this Pokemon that I can see outright is that his speed isn't very great. So unless you force a switch out to get a Dragon Dance off, you're probably not going to get very far with him. That about does it for Gyarados. Number 7 on today's list is Magneton. Now this is one of my personal favorite electric types from Generation 1, second only to Electabuzz. Now this Pokemon doesn't have great stats, but he does have amazing special attack. Not as high as Alakazam, mind you, but enough to get the job done. He does have a 4-type weakness to ground though, but if you teach him Magnet Rise, then you don't have to worry about that. You do still have to keep an eye out for fighting and fire types though, but at least your biggest weakness is off the board completely. He's frail and slow, but if he can get a hit off, he can easily one-hit KO most bulky water types. As a matter of fact, that's exactly where he shines, as a bulky water type breaker, and an awesome steel type check too. In other generations, where there were more than just Kanto Pokemon, he could easily check bulky steel type Pokemon like Skarmory. That about wraps it up for Magneton. Let's move on to the next one. The number 6 entry on today's list is Dragonite, my personal favorite Dragon-type Pokemon. And anyone who knows me knows that I've used this Pokemon several times before. Dragonite is another awesome physical sweeper, just like Geragos. His access to an awesome buffing move in the form of Dragon Dance coupled with an epic priority move in the form of Extreme Speed makes him a big threat in the metagame. Throw an Outrage for an epically strong stab move and Earthquake for good type coverage, and you got yourself a really powerful sweeper / defensive wall breaker. Unfortunately though, since there are no abilities in the upcoming games, I don't think he'll shine quite as bright as he usually does, without access to multi-scale, an ability that allows you to take half damage from the first move that hits your Dragonite in battle. And if that wasn't bad enough, he has a 4x weakness to ice types, and moves like Stealth Rock can end his run before it even begins. But in spite of all that, I just love him. I mean, look at him! Anyways, let's move on to the next one. Coming at number 5 today, we have Starmie. Now this speedy little starfish Pokemon has an awesome offensive typing, that being Water and Psychic type. And better yet, he has the stats to pull it off, with an awesome special attack stat and enough speed to get the job done. If you combine that with awesome type coverage in its move pool, and a way to recover a little bit of health on switch outs, you got yourself another awesome special sweeper. And don't forget about his really good stab moves in the form of Psychic and Surf. The biggest problem with Starmie though is he has absolutely no defenses and no health. And even though Water and Psychic typing is awesome offensively, it's also not very good defensively. He has at least 6 weaknesses that I can think of off the top of my head, those being Water, Grass, Bug, Dark, Ghost, and Fairy type. So if you even look at him a little bit sideways, he's gonna faint. Enough about Starmie, let's move on. Coming in at number 4, we have my personal favorite water starter, Blastoise. Mega Blastoise to be specific. And when I run one on my team this time through, I think I'm going to go for more of an offensive Rapid Spinner build. If you teach him Rapid Spin and Dark Pulse to fend off any ghost types that might switch in and foil your plan to spin any spikes away, then already just there you have an insanely useful Pokemon on your team. And he actually would work very well as a switch-in for a Dragonite too. And I'm really excited to get to use him again, because usually he's outclassed by other Pokemon. And although he's not the fastest Pokemon, he's bulky enough to stick around and deal out a couple really good hits before he goes down. Another drawback is that he doesn't have access to any reliable means of recovery. He could learn Aqua Ring if you breed it, but really, who's gonna waste a move slot on Aqua Ring? Alright, that's about it for Blastoise. Let's move on to the next one. Coming in at number 3 on the countdown is Mega Gengar. Now this is my best friend's favorite Pokemon, but I'm sorry to say I've never actually used one myself. I know that regularly though, he's classified as an uber Pokemon, and that in and of itself should be enough to let you know just how awesome this guy is. His special attack stat is insane, just like Mega Alakazam, and that means if you pair that with his awesome utility move pool and great type coverage that he has, you have a force to be reckoned with. And then of course there's always the classic Hypnosis Dream Eater combo. That's always something to be scared of. His typing is also very good. I mean, if you think about it, his Ghost type allows him to switch in on any normal or fighting type attacks you might have, and his Poison type allows you to switch in on Toxic Spikes, so the rest of your team doesn't have to worry about it. The biggest problem with him though is just like Mega Alakazam earlier, he's super frail. He has no defenses and no health. So again, if you even look in his general direction, or if he misses with that Hypnosis, he's going down for the count. And I've been putting a lot of thought into this, and I think I'm going to use one this time. I was thinking about running Hex, Will-O-Wisp, Sludge Bomb, and Destiny Bond with a timid nature, so he's fast but it doesn't subtract from his special attacking capabilities. For effort values, I was going to go for an even split between special attack and speed, with the remaining 4 put into special defense. And I wanted to know what you guys thought about the setup that I have for my Mega Gengar that I'm going to have. And you know what? Let that be the question of the day. Go ahead and let me know what you think of my Mega Gengar build down in the comment section below. Do you think I should change moves out? Perhaps use a different nature? I think I have it pretty well dialed in. but if there's something I'm missing, please let me know. Alright, that's enough for Mega Gengar. Let's move on to the next one. Coming in at number 2 on the list today is Mega Kangaskhan. Now, I have always loved Kangaskhan ever since I was just a little kid playing the original Pokemon games. When I first came across one in the Safari Zone, I was so excited, but I wasn't skilled enough to catch one back then, and now that I do have one, there's just so many other Pokemon that I like better. But I decided, since there's a restriction to Kanto Pokemon only in the new games, now's a better time than ever to use a Mega Kangaskhan, right? And while doing research for this video, I realized that Kangaskhan would be an awesome utility attacker. And what I mean by that is with moves like Fake Out and Body Slam, you can inflict damage while annoying your opponent at the same time with pesky status conditions like Flinch and Paralysis. He does kind of have a mediocre attack stat though, but if you give him a move like Seismic Toss that does a consistent amount of damage based on your level, then no matter what, you'll be doing a decent amount of damage to whatever it is you're hitting. And he learns Shadow Claw for those pesky ghost type switch-ins. And just like Chauncey, his normal typing is kind of a double-edged sword. He has next to no weaknesses with the exception of the fighting type, but at the same time, he has no type advantages either, except for his immunity to ghost type attacks. All in all, I'm just really excited to finally play through with a Kangaskhan on my team. And with that, let's move on to the final entry. The number 1 Pokemon on my top 10 Kanto Pokemon that I can't wait to use competitively is a Lowland Amok. Now, I've always loved Muck. The simplicity in its design was just always attractive to me. But when they revealed in Generation 7 the Lowland variant, I was so excited. I mean, I always liked the purple color that Muck was before, but I really like the way these bright neon colors give you the idea of radioactivity maybe, or some kind of toxicity. Add in some claws and teeth made out of hardened noxious chemicals, and I think they hit the design for this Pokemon out of the ballpark. But that's not all. He's competitively a very viable Pokemon. His typing is amazing with only one major weakness, that being ground. And with his dual typing, he's super effective against 2 of the strongest types in the metagame, Fairy and Psychic types. All that being said though, he doesn't really learn very many different types of moves. He mostly only learns Dark and Poison type moves, so his type coverage isn't the greatest. But if you want a Pokemon that can reliably take out Fairy and Psychic types in the new game, I think a Lowland Amok is going to do very well in those regards. And that's it for my top 10 video this time, guys. Go ahead and tell me what you thought in the comment section below, and don't forget to subscribe, like, click the notification bell, and follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Pokémon Amino. And don't forget, all the things I said today are purely my opinion, and if you love or hate any of these Pokemon on this list, that's okay. You're entitled to your own opinion too. And until next time, Pokebreeders, don't forget, gotta hatch 'em all.